I lived in Virginia for the last 24 years, Norfolk, representing Venue 35 on 35th Street in Norfolk, from New York. I go by life in general. I don't title my poetry. I let you decipher what you want to get out of it. That's the gift of the art I give to you. This poem was inspired by the sense of smell. She said I smelled like Mexico. Like how the mystery of comparable palettes sweep across the plains, shaded by the cool breezes under palm trees. The sand and beach, not like a resort or barrio smell, the smell of nostalgia. She said I reminded her of somebody she knew quite well and was fond of. Memory. It all draws down to the same conclusion. Platonic platonics. Inadvertence. Happenstance of interactiveness, of reciprocation of applied applications, sums to the ever-posing, exposed posing of equations. But I can't find the answers in everything I wonder about, like an observer obsessing over a beauty from afar. So I leaned in. I said, you remind me of the times of my teenage years, standing on the front lawn of my parents' house, smelling the neighbor's barbecue. You smell like a well-planned celebration, a well preserved in years and finally unveiled for a grand spectacle in its preparation states. I volley for an exchange, an ode to memory, triggering the senses, the smells. You meant every word as to not break eye contact when in the emphatic states of expressing this. Displays on for show now for a specific and predetermined amount of exposure. In the throes of its fits and seizures, the living and breathing exfoliation and the wear downs in an extensive and ever-expansive process. And although my human nature would love to assist in the recanting of your memories, I'm gonna have to sit this one out, respectively, for the limited interaction that we share is good enough for me, observing with patience. In the imaginings of menageries became more the mental mirages we see. My mind took a mental detour as well. It was blown, accentuated in pixelization, particulated around a certain set of circumstances, analyzing the anatomy of instances, camera film, mentally etched onto continuums of cinematic flashes recalled for elated relations of said memorial purposes. My mind was racing to catch my breath. It, ironically uncanny how the arrest of a smell can seemingly turn time back. In the rewinds of a reset, a heartbeat, a turned cheek blushed red over in enthusiasms, even sure in the split seconds of feeling a slight connect. A hot heart in a melded pot of emotion, in travels of distinguishing direction. Your hair, straight, bright, gold, blonde, skin, smooth, shaded porcelain. I stutteringly stalled the in-betweens of fruition to completion. It was conceivable, convincingly confused for an instance, attracted for an instance, looking at love on display just slightly past the showcase glass. Out of grasp, I settle for hugging the cold pain, mind racing, my breath, heart beating in a sped up palpitations of successive palpitations of how irregular of our meeting. And although my human nature would love to assist in the recanting of your memory, I'm gonna have to sit this one out, respectively. Now realizing that a much deeper connection was made, knowing that your memory will now be of me when she said I smelled like Mexico. Like how the mysteries of comparable palettes of smells sweeps fleetingly for seconds across the senses, creating nostalgia. Thank you.